Hello my friends, we're back looking at Tezos, and what do we see here? Well, we see the same story is continuing on from before. The line that we have in here at 2,400 that we've had here for a while now, obviously, is clearly the area to be looking at. You know, as we've seen over the last, you know, this 24-hour chart here, so the last more than a week, and you can see up here that the sort of the upper side target, you know, for us to start feeling like we've maybe turned things around to being at that 2,800 level. And I suppose if we can sort of just want to sort of see how things all measure up in terms of the percentage differences and everything else between them, it should come as no surprise then to see that the 236 Fibonacci retracement, should we actually go up there and start to be, you know, consider upward side targets as being feasible, is up there at that level, of course, of exactly, you can see them lining up there. In fact, maybe you can read the numbers. I could on the screen, it said 236 there, you know. Okay, so and then the top side here, we've got sort of this channel, you've got in that 2,700 area. So if we were to sort of have a way up there, that'd be interesting. Well, a couple of reasons to be interesting. I suppose the same applies to Chainlink, by the way, if you have been watching that. But I forgot to say it, is that of course on this sort of on this time frame, 24-hour, and indeed on the 4-hour as well, no doubt, you'd be looking at having the coming in and testing and seeing if you could set in a sort of higher high, and and that would maybe turn things around here, because if you had a higher high coming in on the daily, of course you could have a higher low come in or whatever, but this is distinctly downwards, this trend. Even though we've been consolidating here sideways, we still see ourselves putting in lower lows and higher and lower highs as well during it all. So, you know, I still think that we're descending down the way sideways, and but I still think we're consolidating. It's the same chat as Ethereum as Chainlink essentially, and we're looking between these two levels, and you can see that then playing out here in terms of the this ascending triangle. Now, I'm not going to get carried away about the fact that that's outside of the triangle just now. I'm going to look first off to see if there's a difference in prices across the exchanges. 154, 154, 154, 154. There is a bit of a cent difference, or the guts of a cent difference between the different exchanges, but really we're talking about parity there, so that's good to see. Do we have other triangles drawn in on other charts there at the meantime? No, we don't really. So we'll go back to where this to triangle land here, whatever exchange this is, Coinbase, I believe, and we'll see is this actually maybe some sort of is it busting outside of this area just now? In terms of volume, that signifies that it isn't really. There's nothing going on there. In terms of this line, could this line be drawn in differently? Well, it very much could be. You've got these two wicks that you could use there as part of this. As part of it. For instance, and you could say maybe that we're just in the process of, well, I don't know. I mean, do I have to do we have to? I don't have to like pretend that there's some sort of you know, professionalist skill here involved that takes years and years of training to come up with things. No, I mean, you look for a couple of points of contact, you put it in, and then subjective human nature plays a massive role in things. Could you know, we be just floating outside of this thing here, and is that a fair enough place to have that line? Yeah, it is. Could we have the line here using those two wicks down below, and then say that again that we're breaking out of it? Yeah, you could say that, you know, you could, or you could we actually just, you know, figure it out and put in and ignore those wicks completely and try and just touch the bottoms of this as much as possible, and then look towards sort of the next week as being as part of this same setup. Yeah, we could, you know, and just for now I'm going to leave it like this, because although you're changing this, the area at which you'd be sort of potentially breaking out, faking out, and all the rest of it doesn't actually change that massively in terms of the overall price, because you could easily come down here and fake out or whatever. You've got to look for the volume to try and confirm it, to see if you are breaking out of something, or indeed even faking out of something. As we can see in the past, when you get increases in volume doesn't necessarily mean anything necessarily, and just wait and see how this pans out. This was a decent enough move to be playing in terms of shorting it down here. If you did from 180 down to 150, that's really great. You've made, let's see in terms of how much of a percentage gain, 12% or so, 13, 14, depends on exactly what you were doing. And then likewise, if you were to sort of think about maybe how if we stayed inside this triangle, then you're looking at another 15% there. So there's huge moves to be made inside this area. There's huge moves to be made should we break outside of it as well, but of course then you're looking at sort of fake out territory. This is where the price is consolidating in and around that, and you've got to imagine that the value is in and around this area operating with your trading just there. And then okay, so then that's enough of that in terms of the triangle. In terms of the actual Fibonacci retracement here that we have drawn in, this one's wick to wick, is it not? It is, yeah. We're below the 236, which we said is bad, obviously, in terms of the having reversed this downward trend. So of course we want to see the prices back up above 171 before we can start getting excited or even think about profit levels up there at 213. But over here, do I have body to body drawn in or something like that? Yeah, on HitBTC it's drawn in body to body, and you can see indeed as well that we're below that 169 level and our blue horizontal line there, and things have been going down the way, but volume's decreasing as it's happening. We're still kind of just consolidating sideways. This here doesn't look much like a triangle as much as it's got some sort of what is wrong with me today? I know I'm a bit under the weather, by the way. If you've not been watching all the videos, I've been saying that. That's why I'm making all these sort of mess ups. I also say, by the way, not to trade too much if you're feeling sick or whatever. So if you do get the coronavirus over the next wee while, don't be building up a great big position there and not putting any stop losses in and everything else, and then going away off and not being able to look at a screen because you got migraines or whatever. Watch out for that. So anyway, yeah, you could say that we're in this sort of a shape here. Maybe we see the prices come down as low as 144 before turning around, just to sort of maintain this sort of channel type thing that we've got drawn in there, which is of course kind of as a flag until it isn't. By the way, a bear flag until it isn't. It's sloping slightly up the way. Slightly up the way or slightly sideways is better for bear flags rather than slightly down the way or whatever. So this could be that. Is it a bit much in a way that it's kind of gone on for so long since the drop down? Well, yeah, it is. But then again, the world, we're trying to apply technical analysis in a world which is fundamentally effed up. We'll see how things open up tomorrow in terms of both of these guys, the SPY and the DJI, and of course other economies around the world as well. But got to point out the big ones, and we'll see how things operate on all the different assets as well tomorrow before we can kind of really conclude, if anything's coming to an end or not, or if we'll just stretch this out for a bit longer. Is there the chance for a decent enough low risk in terms of managing your risk move there to be had? Yes, and there is. And is there a decent enough in terms of low risk management, the effort you need to put in to manage it there to be had? Yes, there is. You can see they've got a line here, for instance, which you could just be using as your at 144 again, not a coincidence. Or if the prices go below that, you could be thinking, well, maybe they're going to go on down to 122. So that's kind of what I'm looking at really overall in terms of the upside. Sure, we've spoken about that a whole bunch of times overall. You've got profit taking targets at 210, at 188, 190, stuff like that. That'll do for today. Right, okay, thanks very much for tuning in. I've done Chainlink, I've done Ethereum, I've done Bitcoin. I've not quite decided what I'm going to do as the bonus coin today. I'm going to do a bonus coin, just have to decide what it'll be. And yeah, feeling a bit sort of nauseous right now. So there you go. That's why I'm a bit subdued. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. By the way, really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments down below if these are videos that you want to see all the time still. I feel like if you look to the sort of the demand in Tezos in terms of the videos and on the Google Analytics, it's kind of like this chart here in a sense that there was a lot of demand for Google Analytics on the YouTube Analytics there, back over here for the Tezos, and it was going up all the time over there. Then it dropped right down. It's kind of funny that it's operating hand in hand with the price action, but I just wonder if Tezos is one of these coins where no offense to anybody in particular, whether it's kind of got fair weather fans or whatever and stuff like that, who just maybe it has dramatic peaks and troughs in terms of the interest in it compared to something like Bitcoin, which has got a more consistent base of interest in it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm still trying to figure all this out as we go along. Super chuffed to be over 300 subscribers, and if you're watching this part of the video, it means you're a special human being, so thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.